the directions say estimate the product, so we'll do that first. Solve using an area model and the standard algorithm. Remember to express your products in standard form. I had several kids just completely skip that last thing. They did all the math, they did it all right, but they forgot that we're writing the word tenths beside our answer, and then equals, and then writing the answer in standard form, okay? So let's try not to forget that. For 22, what would that round to? 20. I would circle the 2 and look at the 2, and it tells me it stays the same. What about 2.4?
Take the decimal.
Okay, I could just take the decimal off, but sometimes we have to go up. The 4 tells me we're going to stay the same, okay? Abiel, I'm glad you said that, because that is a shortcut for estimating in your head real quick. Just pretend like the decimals aren't there and take it times a whole number, okay? So our answer is going to be somewhere near 41s, okay? So area model, and the main reason we're doing it is because you have to do it on your exit ticket. So we might as well practice it. Okay, so when I break 22 apart, that's pretty simple, isn't it? Anyone remember where the decimal goes on this area model?
Like on the line?
I mean, top or side?
Oh, top.
Top. Okay, so I'm going to think of 2.4 as 24 tenths. You don't have to write this. But how will I break 24 tenths apart? 20 plus 4, so that goes up here. And this is just kind of a review of yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vaughn, what we're doing is we're changing the decimal to unit form. Okay, so now what do I need to do, boys and girls? Highlight. Highlight first. Then we can start multiplying. So the only thing different about multiplying with decimals times a whole number, is you're going to change your decimal to unit form. Take the decimal out, put it back in. All right? So 2 times 2?
4.
2, add 1 0. 2 times 4? 40 plus 8?
48.
That's pretty much 4th grade work, isn't it?
Yeah.
20 times 20, what's that?
4.
Oh, yeah. Why did I write 200? 400. And 20 times 4?
80.
Okay, what's 400 plus 80?
480.
480. So add that up. Don't forget to add those up. All right. That's all we have to do with the area model. Now look at the standard algorithm. Okay. Wasn't it nice of them to write it for us?
Yeah.
So do I have a match there?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say in the directions that you have to draw an arrow to match the partial products, but shouldn't we go ahead and look at them anyway, even if we're not drawing arrows, okay? So X's and O's, lay the egg. 2 times 4?
8.
2 times 2?
4.
It matches. Forgot to look. So did you get 528?
Yep.
Well, there's a problem with that because 40 is my estimate. So here's what I forgot.
10.
Did you notice they put it in parentheses?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like it, so I'm doing it too.
Do we?
Okay, so there's 2 ways to look at this, okay? You can look at your estimate, and now you've got to pick a number close to 40. I like to underline the number that's in the decimal place value, or numbers. I underlined 1 digit here, so I underlined 1 digit in my product, and I placed the decimal in front of the 8. Is 52 closer to 40 than 528? Okay, all right. So go ahead and circle B. It's a lot like the second one on your exit ticket, okay? So let's take a look at it. Pretty much the same thing. We're going to round 3.1. Abdiel said just take off the decimal. Can I this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 1 tells me it's going to stay the same. And 33 rounds to,
30.
now do you remember yesterday, I'm not even sure if I said this. The first thing I want you to do is write the standard algorithm. So if they don't have it written for you, you need to write that before you start rounding. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because people accidentally try and multiply these two numbers that they rounded in the standard algorithm, okay? So, and we can't, what was my answer here?
90.
Okay, and we can't, that's not going to do us any good, is it? Okay, so is this still a 2 by 2 array?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to think of 31 or 3.1 as 31 tenths. Vaughn, how do I break apart the number 31?
30 and then 1.
30 plus 1. Good. And remember, we're writing tenths here. Okay. And then 33. This looks pretty simple again. So 3 times 3,
9.
3 times 1.
3.
What's 90 plus 3?
93.
Think this is going to be 930? Yeah. 3 times 3 is 9. Add how many zeros?
2.
3 times 1, or 30 times 1.
30.
So 900 plus 30.
930.
930.
Okay. All right. Now for the standard algorithm. Check your partial products as you go along. Is 102 pretty close to 91s? Yes, it is. So go ahead and circle D. It will help you with the first one on your exit ticket. And I'm going to enlarge this a little bit because we need to practice an area model. Your exit ticket wants you to do an area model, so we need to practice it. How is this area model going to look different?
Because it's 3 digits.
It's 3 digits by 2 digits. Now, do you remember the first thing I told you need to do before anything else? Standard algorithm. So here's a good place for standard algorithm, about right here. That should give us enough room for the area model. Okay, so when we round this number, 14.6,
Take off the decimal.
we could take off the decimal, but that would mean that the 14 stays the same. Now, just a minute. There's 2 different ways to round it, so I'm going to write the number down. You don't have to write this, just listen. I could round to the nearest whole number, okay? So that means add 1 is the game. So it would be 15. That's one way to round it, okay? Another way to round it, look at this, is to round to the nearest 10. In that case, is add 1 the game? No. It would be 10. Because 1 stays the same, digits to the right change to 0, okay? On your exit ticket, they're asking you to round to the nearest 10. But I don't know that I want to do it right here. Don't you think we could handle making it 15? Challenge ourselves a little bit? Okay. So let's go ahead and make it 15. What would 17 round to?
10 and 7.
No, you're thinking decompose.
Oh.
Round it.
20.
20. Okay. So what's 15 times 2?
30.
What's 15 plus 15?
30.
30. Add a 0.
300.
So our answer is going to be somewhere near 300 ones. Go ahead and write ones on there. Okay, now Jesus is going to tell us how we're going to decompose these numbers. But remember, we've got 3 digits by 2 digits. So if I'm looking at, look right here, 146 tenths, Jesus, how will I break that apart?
146.
Good. And what about 17?
10 and 7.
Good. Highlight. Is that what I wrote? Did I write a 1 and a 7 there? All right, so 6 times 7, what is it?
42.
Whoops, I'm on eraser. 42. What about 4 times 7?
28.
Plus 4.
32.
1 times 7
7.
plus 3.
10.
Do I have a match?
Yep.
I'm feeling confident. Okay, X's and O's. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
We like ones, don't we?
Yeah.
Do I have a match?
Yes.
And this is tenths, right? Okay. So then I'm going to put equals, and I'll have to put my line down here. Okay, so I have 1 digit in my problem, 1 digit in my product. What was our estimate? Okay, so we're relatively close to that. Okay. All right, so I want to do number 3, and then I'm going to have you work with partners, okay? So you can finish that one here in a minute. Let's go down and look at number 3. So here's what happened. Michelle multiplied 3.4 times 52. And she incorrectly wrote 1,768 as her product. Use words, numbers, and or pictures to explain Michelle's mistake. Well, shouldn't we just work the problem?
Yep.
Okay, so 34 tenths times 52. 4 times 2,
8.
3 times 2,
6.
4 times 5,
20.
20.
regroup the 2, 5 times 3,
15.
plus 2,
17.
well, she did the math right. What'd she do wrong?
She forgot to put 10.
She forgot to put tenths. So if that's the case, what should the answer be?
176 and 18.
Okay, so let me ask you this. This is going to kind of help you with the very last problem on your exit ticket, okay? So you really need to pay attention to what we're gonna talk about here, okay? Let's just say that this was the problem we had, 34 times 52 equals 1,768. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. How does my answer change, or my product change, if I add a decimal to one of the factors?
That makes
That's
it
how
one
decimal in your
tenth.
answer.
Then I'll have a decimal in my answer, okay? So if I multiply times a whole number, I get to keep my place value the same as the decimal in the problem, okay? For the exit ticket, it says estimate the product, solve using an area model and the standard algorithm. Remember to express your products in standard form, okay? This first one is a lot like D that we did together, so if you get into a bind, just take a look at D, okay? First thing I want you to do, what is it?
It's standard algorithm.
Standard algorithm. So 332 tenths times 21. Write that down. Second thing, get your area model on there. Okay, on this one, on my answer key, they rounded it to the nearest tens place. So circle the 3, underline the 3. When you round it to the nearest tens place, the 3 tells me
Stay the same.
stay the same. So this would be,
30.
you're close, 30. 30. Okay. 21 rounds to,
20.
and I'll let you multiply that yourselves. We don't need to do that together, do we?
No.
Okay, so take a look at 332 tenths. How do I break that apart, Chloe? How do I break this apart? Something plus something plus something.
300 plus 30 plus 2.
Good. And 21?
20 plus 1.
And highlight, right? Okay, so all you have to do is finish the area model and the standard algorithm. Go ahead and look down at B now. We're going to skip down to B, and then I'll leave this up here for you to look at later. Okay? First thing I want you to do, standard algorithm. So it's 17 tenths times 55. This is similar to B, I think, from your problem set. Your area model, 2 by 2, isn't it? Okay, when I round 1.7, I'm rounding to the nearest whole number. So the 7 tells me to do what?
Go up.
Go up, add 1. So Abigail, in that case, you're just take the decimal off. It isn't going to work, is it?
No.
So sometimes it does. 4 and below it does. What about 55? 60. Okay. All right, let's talk about how to break 17 tenths apart. What do you think?
10 plus 7.
10 plus 7. Oh, I forgot to write tenths, didn't I? And 55.
50
plus 5.
Okay.